No, it's not. It's super easy, but complicated at the same time. Any distilled beverage made from a cereal grain, even rice, I know no one makes rice whiskey, but rice, corn, barley, wheat, those are all, when distilled, called whiskeys. So the difference between different types of whiskeys is based on what kinds of grains they're made with. So a scotch is going to be malted barley, a bourbon is going to be corn, rye whiskey is going to be rye. Pretty obvious differentiations there. But then you start talking about different like sections of whiskey in different places, and if you talk about Irish compared to Scotch, well, the Irish have looser rules on what kind of grains you can use. So you can put rice, you can put wheat, you can put corn, not just the malted barley. So you get more flavors and different flavors. And the same thing goes with even bourbons, where it's got to be 51% corn or more, but that other 49% can be all sorts of things, so you get so much more variety in the flavors. That's why there can be so many whiskeys and they don't all taste the same. So it's all changing the grain. And the differentiation between one type of whiskey and another, it's all like little legal definitions of how much of each grain and where it might have come from. Like in the case of bourbon, a lot of people think it has to come from Kentucky. Turns out it can be made anywhere in the United States. And those are developed with like trade agreements with other countries. Like Scotland wanted to make sure Scotch was called Scotch, so they signed a trade agreement with the United States and said, okay, we'll recognize bourbon as its own thing if you recognize Scotch as its own thing. And so those things developed over hundreds, like the last couple hundred years. So that's where those definitions really come from. Really, whiskey, just carte blanche, is any kind of cereal grain distillate that you make. So there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out in America that doesn't really fit in any of the traditional genres. So you're seeing a lot of things called American whiskey pop up because it's made with malted barley like Scotch is made, or like the Japanese whiskeys. They're made just like Scotch. They're made in Japan. You can't call them Scotch anymore. So you get a lot of, all your variety comes from that.